Everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of Women of Zal. So we've got some options here. We can go to our office, we can go to the castle library, we can go to the city library. I'm not sure if we're in a minor cycle or not. That's not helpful at all. Okay, we'll go back to the city library. We'll see if Joy is teaching. After a brief inquiry, okay, blah, blah, we go to the libraries. Good. The university library was quiet again. The librarian gave you a welcoming glance and a nod. Let's do science. You find a book titled Rocks and Minerals and sit down to read. It seems to be just a list of common minerals where they can be found or produced and their uses. Chaorium, a rare organic mineral secreted from the species of orchid that occurs at high altitudes in the western region of Zal. It is a translucent rosy brown. Chaorium can be polished and faceted to form dazzling gemstones. Hedgehorium, a common sedimentary mineral precipitated by various free-floating epiphytes. I think epiphytes is right. Negehite, a common mineral. It occurs as crystal clusters, most often in open-air caves that experience regular cloud storms. It is commonly pale pink to red in color. Rhytite, a common metamorphic granium mineral. It forms through neocrystallization in the upper third of an island's composition. It is characterized by alternating dark and light color bands. Rhytite is used as a common building material due to its ready availability, lightweight composition, and wide range of matrix colors. Vinite, an uncommon phthalate mineral, it crystallizes at low altitudes and typically occurs as veins in the lower third of the island's composition. It is commonly green to pale blue in color. Vinite sparks a rich gold color under concentrated shortwave emissions and can be permanently stained gold when placed in contact with arcane spell workings. You continue reading for a few hours. You feel smarter. Hey! You know what I'm here for? Yes, I'm ready. Let's do this. My body is ready. This time I was thinking about something that would be good for really young kids. We ought to have some wholesome stuff that encourages kindness and friendship in our goals for once, don't you think? On Earth, I saw their little girls. They have this entertainment franchise that actually revolves around talking creatures. Horses or something? And it's also colorful and cute and happy. My Little Pony. That's what we're talking about right now. But instead of horses, let's make them Ploofs. Can you imagine talking Ploofs with their squeaky and chirpy voices and fuzzy butts? Ugh, I couldn't stand it. It's too cute. Do you think the girls in Zal would take to something like that? I don't know about you, but however tough or womanly a girl might be, I have yet to see a girl who doesn't crack a smile at the sight of a Ploof. I mean, am I wrong? What would this movie be about exactly? Like, besides the fact that it has talking Ploofs? Well, it could be a world where they solve things with discussion and empathy rather than just whoever's got the most Zala. They look out for each other. They treat everyone equally and use their powers for things that make the world better rather than just for their families. I wonder if the moms of Zal would let their girls watch something so radical. Lenexa then pondered what kinds of characters would be involved in the show. Maybe a Ploof that was sort of Eastern, a Ploof that was very posh and fancy, a Ploof that was shy and quiet. Dinner was ite, something that you hadn't had since you first arrived. You felt tired but satisfied, and not too full. Here's to better dreams. You dreamed of Zuna in a black dress, playing the piano in a quiet, lonely jazz club. She didn't smile, but even with her eyes closed, it looked like she was completely absorbed in the soulful tune that she was playing. I wonder why I keep having these weird dreams lately. Let's go to our office today. let's talk to Artemis. Thought of me? How did you know? A guess. A hopeful guess, but one all the same, inspired by that odd burst of perceptiveness we discussed. Fortune favors the bold, or so they say. Had something in mind for us today? Another dive into the future, but a little something more after. See, there's an inquiry that I would be very interested in hearing your answer to, but first, I must think of a way to best articulate such precarious matters. So you'll be thinking about that on the go. Precisely. And on that note, shall we? After a quick jaunt to the library, the two of you repeated the process to teleport to another world. How wonderful! It would seem that you can indeed dream of ordinary places. Ever the jester. That said, I'm getting angry just looking at this place. I last saw Mara here. Is that so? Then perhaps we are in the right place. Inside, shall we? Well, it looks like she's not here this time. Thank Dodge. What should we do? First, we check to see if these visions can at all interact with the real world. And if they can, in what way? And of course when? Present or future? Or could it all be dwelling on the past's turf? Fortunately, this church isn't far from the castle. It's on a floating rock that could barely call itself a neighboring island. We could easily see the results of our test minutes after departure. Leave a sign that we were here, huh? We could always knock a pew over. A humorous thought, but I came prepared with a more enduring idea. He summoned a Sharpie with IVA printed on the side. Oh, that's just fantastic. Let's doodle this. Ah, an artiste of the punning variety. Not a fan of it? Hardly that. It's more bothersome thoughts of Mother Dearest. I swear, the invasiveness of her slight against me always pushes me closer to. Sorry, it's not possible to turn the page to your follow-up. Ah, and they call me the clever one. You recall the secondary reason that I approached you today, yes? Well, it's along those lines. I suppose telling you this in the realm of fantasy and dream is the best method of exchanging secrets. My story is very much the same as most men. I lived with my mother until she saw an opportunity to sell me to elevate her station. I'm sure her little bread shop did wonderfully with the amount of gold she was given by the one who would come to own me. How much did Lady Zuna pay for you? From my mother? Not one coin. See, she wasn't my first owner, but rather a woman with as much gravitas to her character as she was daunting. Yalaxa Merge was her name. Bought me for 50 gold, thrice as much as our family would have ever made on their own. Truth be told, I didn't know what to expect of my new caretaker, but in hindsight I never would have guessed. Was she secretly a gentlewoman? Hardly! Or rather, who's to say? She kept to herself and let me wander about her mansion, nil a concern in the world regarding my inquisitive nature. She was always a bit unnerving, especially with how she would get violent with objects were she to suffer even the most mild of inconveniences, but in the time I spent with her she never harmed me, nor did she pursue or make me aware of any physical desires that she may have had. So in that ample free time I was given, I learned to read, write, and speak as I do today. Really, it was a comfortable arrangement, if you ignore the fact that a loving mother sold a trusting child. You know, I'm here for you if you need to sit down and really talk about it, right? How very kind of you. But we're here for the journey. Talks of such nature can, as surmised, come later. Let us find out the extent of our powers, yes? Artemis scribbled rebellion, free the men, and liberation all over the church's walls. You knocked over a pew. We still went and did that. And we did all that we set out to do. Now let us go. Angelica? Well, I wasn't at all expecting all of this. Angelica! Oh, he opened his eyes. Angelica. Well met, Artemis. Surprising, seeing you here. A feeling laden with mutuality, I assure you. Funny, it feels like I should know you. If you did, you would most certainly not be questioning whether or not you do. Well, I suppose there's always a chance that you thought me the Midian goddess. I'm oft told that I could very easily fit a description. No, I don't believe in the goddess, or at least I don't know anything about her. Another joke that you failed to land, Angelica. As entertaining as it would be to see where that trail leads, this situation does not beget a potentially rare opportunity. What were you doing before you paid us a visit? Why such a question? Is it an inquiry that you don't feel up to answering? Afraid so. Then do you mind telling us the date? It's been a wild ride with the apprentice and I, and we might as well be a few cycles off from our estimations. Interestingly enough, I can't seem to recall the day either. Ah, I see. Most unfortunate, yet fortunate all the same. What the hell? This is bad. Seems we have pushed our powers to the limit. Just a bit, mind you. I hold little doubt that you could ask Angelica such questions were this an ordinary vision, were I not involved. However, since this is the culmination of our powers, not to mention whatever Mara's spell is doing, such oddities are to be expected. This may sound hopeful, but here's what I believe happened. We are in a simulation, and anything that we do or interact with will not be affected in reality. We can talk to people, but asking them things beyond their knowledge is, well, going to cause little errors like a woman blinking out of existence. Yes, a good time to head back and confirm our suspicion. Lead the way. The church in real life was just as close as Artemis had said, and you were easily able to convince a bored airship driver to give you a lift. No graffiti was seen. You spied Artemis sneaking a sigh of relief. It would appear that we have avoided stepping into a horror novel. Thank goodness. I couldn't bear the implications of seeing that what we did in the fake church affected what happened in our world. Ready to head back home? I'm feeling pretty inclined towards napping at the moment. Now there's something I can get behind. Until next we meet, Lady Zenna. Happy with the lack of fallen pews and penned walls implied, the two of you flew back to the castle, parting ways and hoping to see Angelica again soon, alive. Not just in a church. Just not in a church. Alright, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.